Okay, welcome to winter camp, November 7/19. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, welcome to winter camp, Tyrone. Now I got to check to see if Charlene can hear us.
I can hear.
Okay, good. So a technical triumph for me. I actually have two people on my phone in the Zoom today, so I'm getting better. One of these days I'll figure it out. But anyway, so yes, welcome today. I know some of you are experiencing a lot of snow or will be experiencing a lot of snow, so please be careful if you're out. Over here on the east side of the state, there's not a whole lot, I don't think. So, you know, we've got a lake effect is certainly rearing its head today. I'm going to
Let's dump it on John.
What's that?
Let's dump it on Roger's side of the state.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're at the tail end of it. But, I'm going to put Lion Art Turner on the spot again today and see if he would start us off with a prayer.
Okay. That today's week, just less than a week from Thanksgiving, I thought I'd open with the Psalm 100. Sing to the Lord, all the world. Worship the Lord with joy. Come before him with happy songs. Acknowledge the Lord is God. He has made us and we belong to him. We are his people. We are his flock. Enter his temple with thanksgiving and go into his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise him. The Lord is good. His love is eternal and his faithfulness lasts forever. And that's the Thanksgiving Psalm. And I thought it very appropriate as we enter into Thanksgiving. Also Thanksgiving that we're looking forward to being in person at camp this year. And that we've got this many people here on the phone today, or on the connection, however we want to call it, and celebrate that. And so let's turn to God in praise and thanksgiving. Shall we pray? Dear God, thank you for this miracle of technology that allows us to get in by phone and computer and whatever else that puts this together, that allows us to talk with one another and share together. We ask your blessing upon our time together, the words that we share, to hear one another's voice, to renew the connection, and know that each one is a special child of you. And we come with thanksgiving as we look forward to the Thanksgiving season of our nation, and also look forward to gathering us in person and see one another and touch and be in one another's presence. Be with us today, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. Thank you, Art. Good. Well, I don't have a real hard agenda today because we almost canceled this meeting because our Lions Club had a bunch of projects that kind of piled onto the day, and with all the snow, that all got canceled. So we decided to go ahead and have it, and I'm certainly glad that a lot of you have joined in today. But I guess as far as like concerns, you know, Nancy Tobias and Margaret can give a little bit more of an update because she's talked to her more recently. But Nancy Tobias had a stroke probably 3 weeks ago, and I'm going to say it was a somewhat minor / it wasn't a major stroke, but she has essentially lost a lot of the use of her right hand, which is coming back, but you know, pretty much didn't have any feeling in it. But she's also been experiencing fluid retention and has recently she was in the hospital for the stroke, in a rehab center to recover from the stroke, and then she was back, according to Margaret, in the hospital. So we all want to keep Nancy in our thoughts and prayers. And as you've heard, Wayne just got out of the hospital from a sort of a resurgence of his probably COVID infection, at least some after effects of that. So, you know, I'm not sure who else, you know, we have that might be, you know, ill or, you know, having problems, but And Margaret, if you have any more of an update on Nancy than that, she's on mute. Do you know how to unmute yourself, Margaret? *6. Okay. So anyway, that's the story, and like I say, we all want to keep Nancy in our hearts and prayers, and Wayne for his continued recovery from his recent bout. Does anybody have anybody else that we should be thinking about that you know of in our community?
Well, I was sick last week. I had a sore throat and a fever, but I'm feeling good today. I'm going back to work on Tuesday.
Okay.
Good.
And I'm happy about that. I'm going back to work. Yeah.
Going back to singing?
Back to singing. And I want to thank you, Roger, for my birthday song. I didn't realize what kind of voice you got. You could be a star. Yeah.
Well, I don't sing well, but if people don't leave the room when I'm singing, I guess I'm doing okay. But
That's right. That's right.
so I did have a couple of things on the email I sent out, which I don't have in front of me right now, but we did send applications out for winter camp. I sent about 85 applications out this last week.
Well,
People are starting to receive them, but I wasn't sure about some folks if they were intending to come or not. I sent it to the usual suspects. So Henrietta, I know that I didn't send you one, but I didn't know if you were interested in coming to camp.
Yes.
yeah, it'll be her first time, right, Henrietta?
Yes.
I did get my
Oh.
application on Thursday.
Okay, good. So it sounds like they're getting out. I sent them on Tuesday. They went out on Tuesday, so that's pretty good. They must have the mail system a little more in shape than it was. I think probably everybody else on the call got one. We don't usually send them to the volunteers. I know that the summer camp maybe does, but I haven't in the past sent an application for volunteers. We just,
We have a raised hand from Marion Ward.
okay, Marion.
Okay. I just want to say I made 4 copies of the application. So Roger, Henrietta, if you're coming to the Boy Scout dinner, I'll give you one.
Oh, I won't be there.
You won't be there. Okay. So Roger, you want to send it or what?
Yep, I can send it to her. I've got
Okay.
your address.
All right. I just thought maybe you were going to come, Henrietta.
Unless your address has changed, is it the same as what I would have had last year? Henrietta,
Excuse me?
is your address the same as what I would have had last year?
Yes, it is.
Okay, from the virtual winter camp?
Yes, 365 Chrysler Drive, 3650 Chrysler Drive, apartment
Okay.
2.
Okay, that's good. I can get that.
We just had someone join, 313-567-4032. What is your name?
Wanda Anderson.
Welcome,
Hi,
Wanda
Wanda.
Anderson.
Great.
Thank you.
Marion, if you're done with your question, we can put your hand down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. You can unmute. Oh, yeah.
I can lower your hand. Okay, and then Carrie has
Okay.
her hand
Thank
up.
you.
You're welcome. Carrie? Ms. Bradley? Do you have a question?
Sorry, I had my phone.
Okay, Roger, 2 questions. Number 1, the last time we were physically in winter camp, Daryl Goldsmith won the free campership.
Yep,
So therefore, did you put that on the application that you sent for? Because did you send 2 applications or was it just 1?
I sent 2 applications, And yes, I know that he has still holds the campership. So he-
Okay.
so
All
he
right.
doesn't
And then
have
my
to pay.
second question is, could you review the price for winter camp for everyone
$45
per person?
per person.
What about the volunteers?
Same
We
thing.
usually don't charge the volunteers unless they're unless they're a human guide.
Okay. So now, for the benefit of our members, okay, volunteers are free. Campership is $45. We are expected to be at camp by what time? And we are expected to leave camp by what time? And what should we not bring to camp? Thank you.
Okay, so that was one of the things that I was going to talk about today was the transportation because
Wait, hold on. Before you get into all the transportation, can we just do an overview real quick? What are the expected arrival and departure times? Just the bookends?
Sure. Well, okay, so I guess the reason I led into the transportation is because we're going to have to make adjustments from what we had previously.
I understand. I
So-
just, in
so
case
we
people are
would-
doing private.
So we normally have people arrive between, I'm going to say 1:30 to 4 o'clock is sort of the norm, has been the norm over the last few years. That's not a problem for the folks that are coming with private transportation, because that could, you can adjust your travel time, etc. The problem the thing that governs a lot of our schedule is the public transportation schedules, which have been the train arriving around 1:30, 1 to 1:30, and then we probably get out to camp about 2:30, depending on how long it takes us to get everybody loaded up on the bus. So that's the arrival. Now,
No,
Marion,
Roger.
Marion said last week that it was going to be.
Roger, hold it. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Okay,
Okay.
Marion, I'm sorry.
hang on, Terry. Hang
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Hang on.
But remember, we want to hold off on the transportation discussion and just talk about the optimal arrival and departure times. We have the arrival. What is the normal or optimal departure time?
Normal
On Sunday.
departure, normal departure time from camp is, and I'm going to say typical from what we have had in the past, is between like 9:45 and 10 o'clock, leaving the camp to get to the train station for a like an 11 o'clock train, 11:30 train. We have not had anybody come on a bus for quite some time. That's one of the things that we have not had experience with, but may end up being something we do this year. All of
Things
the
not to bring to camp.
things not to bring to camp.
Yes.
Pets. You can bring service dogs. You can't bring a pet. Let's see. I guess if you've got some expensive, I mean, we all trust everybody, but it's like, I don't know that we've ever said what not to bring. We've probably been more focused on what to bring. Winter,
Standard camp is no handguns, no weapons, no drugs.
I mean, I would assume people do that, but
Good to see it anyway.
expensive electronics, I mean, things that you don't want to lose, because we have lost things in the past. So things that you don't want to lose.
You think you better keep them at home?
Well,
Yep.
Like, I mean,
Keep 'em at
obviously
home.
you need to have your phone. We've lost keys in the past. We've lost, we've had phones left, those sorts of things. And so things that you need to have, you need to make sure that you've got them in a secure place that you won't lose them, whether it's in your luggage or on your person. what else, Kathy? What not to bring to camp?
Well, Carrie, did you have specific things in mind?
I just wanted some general things, for the new campers, because we always have new campers there at winter camp. So I want to make sure that all the bases are covered. So no handguns, no drugs, no alcohol, no expensive electronics or jewelry, aerosol cans. What about aerosol cans?
I don't think there's a restriction on aerosol cans. I mean, if
Okay.
you got hairspray, are you talking hairspray?
Hairspray, like the spray Lysol, cleaning different cleaning products. Just make sure that people know what's restricted, so we don't run into any unnecessary problems.
Well, like I say, we've never really had an issue with that. The only thing we really had an issue with once was somebody brought their pet dog because they couldn't find somebody to watch it, and that's a pretty highly restricted thing at the camp because they do allow leader dogs and they do allow service animals, but otherwise pets are not allowed, and we don't.
What about computers? Because I know Mike Gino does work with computers, and maybe somebody might say, well, let me take this up and see if Mike could do anything with it. Is that allowed?
Yeah, you
It
can bring it.
is, but again, that's an expensive item, so just make sure you have a plan for keeping track of it.
Plus it's
And
bulky.
transporting it.
It could be bulky as well, unless it's a laptop or something like that. That you can.
Right.
Well,
You want to make sure it
I
doesn't
thought-
get damaged.
right. I talked to Mike Gino on Monday, and he didn't say about bringing any computers this time, but I don't know. He might bring some. What he does is he gives them out to people. They can have them. They have all the games on them. The Jim Kitchen football games, whatever games you want. Mike usually gives them away. So
That's nice.
I'm not sure if he's doing that this year or not. I'm not sure.
No, he doesn't. He has done it the last year he came.
Right.
Maybe the last
He
2
did.
years that he came, he did that. And I know sometimes he
Right.
has trouble connecting with the people that because one of the issues with taking a computer home from camp is you have to get it home. And sometimes it's more difficult because if it happens to be like a desktop unit, I mean, a laptop would be very easy, but if it's a desktop unit with a monitor, then you've got like a bunch of additional baggage to fit in,
Right. Well,
and so I know that I've taken a computer over to Detroit somewhere to deliver to somebody, and I know he delivered one to somebody last year. And so, it's up to him, it's up to him, and I will probably be talking to him and I'll find out. But yeah, I mean, if one year somebody had offered to fix Braille writers, they were offering to repair Braille writers. And so they were, asking people if they wanted to bring their Braille writer to camp to get it worked on. And now I don't know who that was exactly. Somebody else was kind of handling that. I don't know who the contact was, so I'm not saying that you should bring your Braille writer. We'll get it fixed for you. But we do have cane repair happening though, so that's
Yes.
So if you've got a cane that needs repaired, bring it along, and we can get it repaired for you.
Hey, can we get a name
how
for the
many
person who
bags
just
did-
joined?
Hello,
Who just got here?
Ronnie.
Ronnie
Ronnie?
Durrell.
Oh, Ronnie. Hi.
Ronnie Durrell.
Hi, Ronnie.
There we go.
Okay, two bags. Two bags.
How many bags? 2 bags. Is those
Two
two,
bags.
one small and one large, or 2 large, and you can have a backpack or something like that, or is just strictly 2 bags, period?
What you can carry on your own.
Yeah, I mean, you have to
Excuse
think
me,
about
carry is generally a tote bag and a suitcase, basically.
right.
A tote
And
bag
what
and a
if you
suitcase.
have those suitcases that you can hook all together, so therefore you can carry about 4 of those, because they all 4 of them hooked together, and you just pull them from the front one. I mean, I'm just being technical so
There's
that
not a-
everybody, the new people going, will understand.
If
There's
you
not
have
a-
to pick it up over a puddle, can you pick it up? Ask yourself that. Can you carry it? Don't assume, because it's not paved. So don't.
Yeah,
assume
you might
can
get
pull it
rolled,
along.
though.
You have to consider how much space is available for all this stuff too, Terry. So,
Right. I mean, I know. I'm just doing this for the new campers who want to come to camp and that just don't know these things.
so,
Yep.
so I would say 2 bags. If you have a suitcase and a duffel or something like that, that's great. Sometimes people bring a couple of suitcases. I know that Michelle McBride, if she comes, she'll probably bring something with snacks in it. So, she's done that over the last few years. The one thing not to bring is your stuff in a garbage. Please do not bring your stuff in a garbage bag. So that's
Right.
Or dollar store bags.
whatever, a bag. You know, it needs to be a suitcase. I mean,
In a
if you
suitcase,
have something in a bag, you know, I mean, if it's like if you have your lunch or some, you know, like some small things in a bag that you can carry.
Yeah.
It's when people brought their clothes and stuff and bedding and everything in a garbage bag.
Yeah. Those tear. There's some great reusable bags these days with zippers. So yeah, the gist of it is be practical.
We bring our own face towels.
You're only going to be there for like 2 nights. So,
And camp provides blankets, but some people prefer to have a second blanket. But again, it has to be able to fit in your suitcase. So if you don't want to change your clothes, go ahead and pack an extra blanket. I'm kidding.
if you have a pillow that you like to bring, they provide a pillow, but if you've got one that you like or a special pillow, you can bring that. So we just don't want to
Bring our own face towel and all. Face towel and all. Washcloth, huh?
Pardon?
Yeah.
Toiletries. Yeah.
Toiletries, yeah. Yeah, bring everything, bring all of that you need.
Your soap and all that. You have to bring all that.
Don and Judy have a question. Can we skip over to them for a minute?
Okay, Don.
Right.
I know I shouldn't ask, but why would anybody need to bring 4 bags just for one day at camp? That doesn't make sense to me. Or for God's sake, home.
It's for the fashion show, Don. Didn't you get the memo about the fashion show?
Not Don.
This is Rosemary. May I say one thing, please?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Roger, when you send out the applications, aren't all those things listed on your application, what to bring, what not to bring? I mean, we do that for summer camp, and this way it eliminates all these questions.
Yes.
It's on the back of it. It's on the back of your first page. It's on the back what to bring.
Yeah, so people can just read, read that or have it read to them, and then they'll know exactly
Right.
what they do. We don't have to go over and over all this stuff.
Well, right, exactly. It's on the back what you bring.
Terry was just saying for the newcomers.
Well,
That's
even the
all.
newcomers, they can read they can get the application read and know that what they got to bring or don't bring.
Exactly.
I agree.
So,
I
okay.
agree.
So let's
We
talk
must
about,
understand that some people, they don't even look at the back of the application, so they
Well,
wouldn't
they
know.
should.
That's their problem.
Exactly.
They should.
That's why
They
we're having
should.
this conversation, so they won't have a problem.
so the first 2, I did change the application a bit this year. The first page, the first full page of the application is information. It's like, where's the camp? Where is the camp located? How do you get there? On the backside is I don't have it in front of me, but on the backside is a list of things to bring, suggested things to
Exactly.
bring. And then we also have, I guess it's on the front page, is the information about COVID. And
Yes, it's all yes.
so we are asking people to have evidence of a COVID vaccination. And if they cannot be vaccinated, we are going to accept, this was from our last chat, a negative COVID test within 72 hours of camp. So that's, if you please bring proof of that. So that's what, and then we were asked to have folks wear masks when inside during our inside activities. And when I was talking to Don and Judy today, one thing that came up was in the dorms, and what they did at the camp before was they alternated the pillow. So not everybody's facing the same direction. Like if you got two bunks together, one person has their maybe pillow against the wall, and then the next person has their pillow against the end of the bed, so that you're separated that way.
Right, they did that before, Roger.
Okay, all right.
We did that before.
So, and then because it's a little bit much to ask people to wear a mask while you're sleeping.
Now, what about this mask indoors for everybody? Because usually when we're indoors, we're eating.
Well, when you're not.
Yeah, but I'm saying take it off when you get through.
When we're playing.
You take it off to eat and then put it back on.
When we're playing bingo and you have to be.
When you're sitting closer together and.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just, we're trying to keep people safe. And, and as some have said, they haven't had COVID yet. So, hopefully you don't get it. But even with a vaccination, you can still get a case of COVID.
That's right.
And so we just want to make sure that we're taking all the precautions. And one other thing that I'll say is, and this came up with Don and Judy as well, it's like, we don't know what's going to happen in February. So, I mean, we would hope that, things don't get out of control again like they did last year. If you remember last year, we were planning on camp, and actually at this time of the year in November, the levels of transmission were so high that basically they said, you guys can't have camp. You can't have people in the dorm. So, that was, so then we had to shift gears and go back to a virtual event. And then, but right now it's, it's not too bad. I mean, the numbers are kind of going up and it depends on the area, but, there is that possibility that we at the last minute might have to cancel. And if that's the case, then, everybody gets their money back. Now the transportation, is another issue, and whether or not you can save a ticket, for another time, or, if you've already bought a ticket, we'd have to look into that. But
they'll give you a certain amount of money back depending on the time you cancel.
Right. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that that's not going to happen, and we're moving ahead with plans to have in-person camp. So that's kind of where we're at.
Mr. Sterneman had his hand up a second ago. Did you have a question, Dave?
Yeah, I was trying to remember, does the camp provide sheets, or do we have to bring them?
The camp provides they call it a linen packet.
Okay.
And it has 2 sheets, a blanket, a pillow, and
wait, go slower so I can write this down. 2 sheets, a pillow,
blanket,
and pillowcase.
A pillowcase, and a towel and a washcloth.
Okay, yeah, now I remember. All right.
Got to bring your own soap.
Yeah.
Or borrow from your neighbor.
Oh.
Renee joined us. Hey, Renee.
Hi.
Okay. Carrie and Phyllis both have their hands up. Carrie's hand's been up for the last 20 minutes. Do you still have a question? Or did we cover them all? All right.
You covered them all. See, is lowered now?
Yep.
Is lowered?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Phyllis.
The only thing I wanted to say was, if people are coming to camp, please don't come to camp sick with a cold and stuff because you're going to bring it on to everybody else. This has happened in the past. Because when we were, last time we was there, somebody had bronchitis and gave it to our driver and she ended up in the hospital.
Oh,
with
boy.
So please, if you're going to be sick, stay home. I know you paid your
Right.
stuff, but please stay home.
If you, I mean, in the past, I mean, it's, in the past, we have refunded people's money if they were sick and couldn't come. I mean, it's a little more, I mean, it's a little different now because of COVID, because you can almost not be sick and still have COVID, you know, so, but yeah, we don't want people to come if they're having symptoms. So thank you, Phyllis, for.
Roger?
Janie, you have your hand up. Hang on, Tyler.
Hi, this is Janie. I was wondering about the water situation. Because, like, you know, when you go to take a shower,
okay,
at times that water is cold. I mean, had they ever, you know, did anything with that to, you know, make the water a little warmer? When you go to take a
Can
shower?
anybody speak to whether it's warmer earlier in the day, later in the day? Do you need to let it run for a bit? Does anybody?
Nah, even if you let it run, it still end up being cold.
It's still
You
cold.
know, it's still cold.
Right. I think if you usually what I do is I just take my shower at night when it's still warm, and because in the morning, you know, everyone's using the shower, and so the hot water, you know, goes out. But I take my shower at night, and I ain't got to worry about it.
No, that water still be cold, kind of cold at night. It ain't that.
Yeah, you're right, Jenny. It is cold. We gotta let it run. You gotta let it run, and let it run. And
that still don't work.
Maybe we can put in a request to camp and ask.
I'll
them
ask camp about that and see what they have to say.
Not in the female department. I don't know about y'all men, but in the women's department,
it is cold.
What they need to do is turn the temperature up on the hot water tank itself, because with all of us using it, because it's usually about, I think, a good 60 people, not including the Boy Scouts and cooks and the volunteers that use this water. So if they turned the temperature up a little higher, maybe it would stay warm a little bit longer. This Carrie, thank you.
Yeah, I'll check.
Lord, I want a perfect camp. It's camping.
I don't know. Nowadays, the standard for a hot water tank, a new installation at a person's house, the recommended temperature isn't warm enough for me. So I have to go up a little degree. But the there's little arrows on the thermostat on a hot water tank, and it says, right here is the anti-scald setting. And I go just a little higher because I like a nice warm shower. So if they're following regulations, then they won't be able to turn it up, but they might be able to at least tell us if they have problems with it, or
I have a
you know, what the capacity is.
Okay, Tyrone. Tyrone's turn.
My deal is, I talked to Roger about this. He thought that would be a great idea. I talked to Marion about this too, and I thought that I want to come up to camp if we have camp next year and not bring up any equipment, because I do this for a living, so I need time off. So why not next year? I don't bring up any keyboards and wires, and I did it for the last how many years?
I can't count.
Too many to count.
But
just 93.
That's what you do. You don't want to bring it. You don't want to bring it. That's what I'm saying.
No, hold it. I enjoy doing it, but you can get burnt out. We had
right.
Yeah.
Remember, we had Mike Smith for a lot of years. He did it. He got burnt out from it. So it's time for me now
To get burned out.
as well. Yeah,
Well, just
I
don't do
want
it.
to myself, and I mean, I'll help if anybody else has any ideas for bringing up stuff. But
No,
I wanna
you
come
all
up
had.
and-
You
I
had.
want to come up, enjoy myself, like you guys.
Mhm.
Hmm?
So, what do y'all think about that?
Sound good.
Okay, Tyrone.
I
Interrupting you for a minute. I like Willie from Kalamazoo that Faith Meadows recommended. Remember Willie that plays the piano behind you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Roger and I
Yeah,
discussed him. We're gonna see
Play that
about it.
piano.
I've sent him a note, and actually I sent him an application. So I'll call him. I'd send him a text on Messenger, which is how we've communicated before. I haven't heard back from him, but also B. Furman said she could probably help out with equipment. So, because they're part of a music group at their church. So one way or the other, we'll get some equipment there, and we'll have some team. So
Right.
I'm
And
fine
the
with that,
other-
Tyrone.
I got a quick question. Is there a piano in the room, in the building somewhere?
Yeah, there
It
is.
sounds awful. You don't want
Yeah.
that piano.
Okay, was it
wait,
untuned
it's-
piano? Okay,
way out of tune.
just checking.
And the other thing too, the other situation is, you guys, for me, transportation was bringing all the equipment. Years ago, I had transportation to bring all the equipment. I have some lighter stuff now that I could bring. I mean, if I have to, I will. But if there's another option, that would be great. But I don't mind. Okay, I don't mind doing it.
You was
Because I
complaining?
do it for a living, and I do it for you guys, and but how about a break this time for me, maybe?
Oh, yeah,
Alright.
you deserve a vacation.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, you could have said, I'm not,
Throwing at that.
don't want to do it this time.
Just so you don't. You're not doing it.
That's all
Yeah.
you gotta say.
We fully
That's why I
support you
told Rob.
taking some time
Yep.
off.
It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. So, and thank you for, taking care of yourself, Tyrone.
Oh, yeah.
As some
I'm
people say,
sounding good
exercising
now.
self-care.
Right.
Yeah, I'm singing Jingle Bells.
Oh, we
on-
appreciate that.
But
we
you
still
can't
expect
meet us
you to sing
in
Winter
Welcome
Camp.
to Winter Camp, though.
Welcome to winter camp. Yeah.
We have it
Right.
recorded, so we can all just sing along with the recording.
We can
Yeah.
play the recording.
Yep.
Oh, I
So
know.
now, the other thing is, I want to mention for the camp
Hello?
is that
What's that?
Reggie, we have a new driver that's going to drive. We've already discussed with Reggie of who he's going to be bringing up. So if that's the case, again, I don't know how much room he'll have for equipment and luggage too. So Reggie has already picked his 4 people that he's taking with him already.
Tyrone, why don't you just not worry about bringing your equipment?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Roger.
You're tired.
We love it that
that's
you
it.
have all these years, but you deserve a break, and we'll manage it.
Take a break.
You deserve a break today.
Okay,
As
moving
Chico says,
on.
you deserve a break today.
Moving on.
Right. You're right
Okay.
there, Art.
So,
Next thing.
Look, Tyrone, you've been doing this stuff for over 40 years for camp, so you deserve a break.
Thank you, Rosemary.
I think
I
we'll give
know
you
I
one,
started
we'll give you
camping.
1 year off. 1 year
That's a
off
lot,
for your
that's a
service.
long time to be doing it, and I only heard you once, a couple of years ago, but you do a good job at it.
Well, I
Okay,
started
we got some
camping in
hands up.
1981 and Tyrone was playing even then, so it's
1981.
been a long time, so Good for you.
I
Yeah.
make a motion, we let Tyrone have the year off.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Awesome.
All
All
right.
those in favor?
Say aye.
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 All
Aye.
those opposed? Yeah.
Silent.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Next.
All right.
Opposed.
So we got
This
some
Kelly
hands up.
Bradley, I'm opposed.
Okay,
So
we've
Don-
got a few people with their hands up. Phyllis, did we answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put Phyllis's hand down. And Janie, did we answer your question? You were talking about water
Yeah.
temperature? Okay, put that down. And Don and Judy. Did you still have
Yeah,
something
the
to say?
water temperature on most water heaters, I think they set it at 140 degrees.
Wait a minute.
So it all,
Are we still muted?
No, we hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I'd pushed the right
I
button.
think we're gonna table the water temperature discussion. Roger's gonna talk to the camp and see if there's
You know,
any
I think-
options.
Kathy, I think Don wanted to know for his own curiosity what the new setting is
Oh,
for
I'd
water heat.
have to Google it up.
That's okay.
Oh, that's all
Don't
right.
worry about
that's
it.
all right. Now, I want to know
Stop yelling.
what items were stolen up at camp so that we should be aware of.
Well,
'Cause
we've never had anybody really get anything stolen. We've just had people missing things, like, they couldn't find them when they were packing, and then maybe we find them when we're doing the cleanup, those sorts of things. So, I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying is, if you've got something valuable that you don't want to lose, more so than being stolen, because this community is pretty well vetted with each other, and so, I don't think we're going to have issues with stealing. So, but it's more just stuff you want to keep track of. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the Michigan score?
Could I get the name of who just joined us? 313-918-2797?
Gina Rao.
Excellent, welcome.
Thank you. Sorry for being late.
This is Jack. I'll speak to that. I think, Roger, you and I both done the same thing. When the camp empties out, we take a tour, and we've had to deliver or mail or UPS different things to people who forgot them.
Hi, Jack.
Or purses or little bags that people have their tickets in.
And I've had people call me and ask me to send their shower jar to them, and I suggested they buy a new one. It was worth it.
Right. We have that's one of the things that seems to be commonly left are toiletries.
Mhm.
And so if you've got a real expensive bottle of some shampoo, I wouldn't bring it.
Put it in a travel container. But I left my blanket up at Higgins Lake. And so they mailed it home to me.
Mm.
And I said, I'd like to make a donation to camp. And they said, well, we can't, the way the Michigan budget is set up, because we're a national park or whatever they fall under. She says, you have to pay the state. We can't receive the funds directly. I said, oh, I can't even send you a tip. She says, no, we'd have to turn it over.
Oh.
So sad.
I think we got Bill
I
Chapman.
left my boots.
Bill,
I left my boots there one year.
Hello, Mr. Chapman.
All right, you guys.
Okay.
So
So let's I would like to move on to the transportation discussion, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because there are some changes in the bus and
Yeah, that's
actually,
fine.
there is a bus available now that comes. But the bus and train schedule, and I know Marion, you had been looking into this. I actually just had a
Yes.
conversation with Bonnie Harris.
Okay.
Then Marion, why don't you let us know what's going on? 'Cause
Okay. This year, the schedule is this. It leaves Detroit at 9:35 in the morning. Okay. and it gets to Battle Creek at 11:55.
Yep.
Okay, so you got all that time. And the only thing I can suggest, go over to Walmart and get you something to eat. You still got a lot of time.
So we talked about this with our winter camp group, and what we may just have to do is make some accommodations to, bring people out to camp early. A few those who travel on the train, and I think the bus. Now, Marion, did you check into the bus schedule?
No, it's too long because they don't have one until the afternoon.
Oh, I see. Because Bonnie
like
was
3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Because Bonnie was talking about coming on a bus.
And believe it or not, it's higher on the bus than it is the train.
Really?
How much is it on the train?
The train is $50 each way. $50 there, $50 back. And only discount you would get is $10. So it'd be $90 round trip.
Okay.
I think it was like
plus
before it was like
$45
$75 or something, right?
No, it's $50 for coach and $71 for business.
Each way.
So it's $50 there and $50 back.
Yes, okay. And if you go in business, it's $71 each way.
Camp is $45?
Camp is $45, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I guess what I would like to see, if it can happen, is our Lions Club, like my district, 11A1, we have a big, huge district, and I would like to see maybe if it could happen, transportation done that way, but it would have to be done early, like in September or something, but before we get into the camp. But maybe something for next year we can do, but it is just so hard, with this traffic, trains and buses, I thought I heard someone say that there was going to be some transportation organized. Did someone say that?
I know Carrie was looking into that, and she talked about it at our last meeting.
Right.
Is she still on?
Are you there, Carrie?
Yeah, Carrie's on.
Yes, I am.
Okay. What have you found out there?
Okay, well, what I found out is there's 2 people that are interested in transporting people to camp, and they will go by how many people that's there. Every time a person gets added, the price will go down. So, for instance, if there's one person that's going and coming back, it would be one price, let's say $100. Then if it's 2 people, it'll be $95 a person. 3 people, it will be $90 a person. 4 people, it will go down systematically. So until I have people that call me and say, well, let me see about your transportation, there's nothing I can do. Right. No one has called me. So, there you go.
All right. So it was one of those, Carrie, were the places that you talked to was one of those, what was it, Warriors on Wheels, or was that another one that you talked to?
I talked to Warriors on Wheels, and I also talked to this girl named Sean.
Okay.
Lady named Sean that has a transportation company.
And so how many people?
I was in contact with Reggie, like Tyrone said, and like I said, if you don't tell me, if I can't get at least five or more people to commit to taking a transportation, I mean, you might as well ride on the train. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Because we're
Carrie.
trying to beat the price of the train.
That's
And
right.
the difference with this transportation is this: everybody would meet here at my house. We all get picked up, and then on the way back, you will get dropped off at home.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
So,
That's a great idea.
so Carrie, do you know how many people they could transport? What their capacity is?
Right. Reggie did not give me a capacity limit. Lisa did not either, because they have a bus and they also have a van. So that's, I'm guessing maybe with luggage, I'll probably say 8 for Sean, and I'd probably say maybe 12 to 15 with Warriors on Wheels, and I did not discuss how many people Reggie could accommodate.
Well, Reggie's only taking 4 people.
Well, maybe he's only taking 4 people because only 4 people asked him about it, Tyrone.
Right.
Because I know he could take more than 4 people because he has one vehicle.
Well, he said he didn't want to take more than 4.
Mhm.
Not talking.
Well, like I said, I haven't had that conversation with him. I talked to him about it in October, and I did not get back with him. So I will have a conversation with him about it myself. So I would ask all members to give me till next Saturday, and next Saturday give me a call, and I will tell you exactly what Reggie said. I'll tell you what Lisa said, and I'll tell you what Sean said. But if you are interested in going, I need for you to speak up so I can come to them with a number, at least a number. Because you can't go to somebody and say, hey, how much you'll charge to take me to Battle Creek? And they say, well, just you? How many people are going with you? Because, like I said, the more people, the less the price.
Okay, that's good. Carrie, thank you for checking into that, because and does everybody have Carrie's number to call?
Yeah.
No.
A lot of you do, but a lot of you don't, I'm sure.
Yeah. No. I'm interested in transportation, but I do not have Carrie's number.
Do you mind giving us that, or do you want me to send it out to people on a private message?
Well, my phone number is area code 313-919-1283. I will repeat it 2 more times. 313-919-1283. That's 313-919-1283.
1283.
And that's with a C and an IE. Double R's and an A. I spelled it backward and in the middle.
We're in the room. This is David.
CARRI. And if you need to email me, my email address is CARRIEMAE9@iCloud.com. I can accept text messages as well.
Okay. Can you say that again? What your email is, Carrie? What?
It's pronounced by Jaws Kariame. It's Carrie CARRIEMAE 9 iCloud.com.
Okay.
So if your jaw says Kariame, it's the right word.
Okay.
That's gonna be my new name, by the way.
Now, Phyllis mentioned that they have transportation from Port Huron and Wayne. Do you know of anybody else up there in the Port Huron area that would like to attend camp that I might not have sent an application to?
Oh, what you said, right, Roger?
Yes. Oh, you didn't hear me? Okay.
No,
So you had mentioned earlier before we started the call that you have transportations with the DeWitts.
yes, the United Way helps us pay to rent a van and to get to places. And then we have drivers. My brother and sister, my sister and brother-in-law helps drive.
Okay.
So,
And do you know of, besides you, Wayne, and Lindsay, and maybe Mike Gino, he's Port Huron, right?
yeah, yeah.
Do you think he'd be coming with you, or does he have?
I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Mike.
He was coming. I'll talk to him.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Mike yet. I was going to talk him to our Christmas party next month. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll probably be talking to him before that. So I can let him know that you guys have transportation. So.
Yeah, people can check into their communities and see if, there is a way that somebody can help rent a van for them and get a driver. That's, one way of going too.
Right. So like Tyrone, you mentioned your local Lions clubs. That may be something to think about as well.
Yep. Yeah.
Before my sister and her husband drove us, we had people from Lions clubs that volunteered to do our driving too.
Right. Okay. You should bring a bunch of people, right? Like 12 to 14.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had 2 vans full one time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Roger, David Sternman's been trying to ask his question for like the last 10 minutes.
I'm sorry, I
Give
didn't
him
see
the
his hand.
floor.
I didn't see.
Yeah, he had it up, but then it went down.
I'm sorry. Sorry, David.
That's all right. I was wondering, does Carrie live in Detroit?
Carrie is in Detroit.
Okay.
I'm not sure what part of Detroit, Carrie, but she is in Detroit.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The thing about the transportation is this. Okay, I'm not saying that the starting point has to be Detroit. For example, if you live in Warren and you want to go to winter camp, I can arrange it where the transportation can pick up some people in Warren and then stop here and get the people in Detroit, and stop and keep going down that line because it's going in that same direction. Are you following me?
Yeah, so if I live in Lake Orion, they could come pick me up, because if they're gonna get us there later, closer to the time that we need to check in to, I'd possibly be interested in
right.
checking out.
I tell you what, David, why don't you give me a call? Why don't you give me a call and you and I can discuss that? Because I think there's something we can do for you.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you about it. All right. Thanks.
All right. Okay.
So I'm gonna also check into the bus, because it seems like Bonnie thought that the bus was going to be arriving earlier than like what was mentioned just now.
Okay, Roger, I was just checking a while ago. This is Marion Ward. Okay, there's 2 buses leaving Detroit going into Battle Creek, and one is about 3 and the other one's about 4, but they're like 2 and 3 hours.
Oh, I see. Takes that long.
And it's the one that leaves in that about 3 something is $30, and the other one is $7 different. It's $37. So I wouldn't advise that, because it won't get her there until like almost 6 o'clock and almost 8 o'clock. So.
Well, we have picked up people later, because we used to have guys from Port Huron. Actually, Port Huron come down on a bus, and sometimes, actually those guys would get there really early, but we've had people come in a little bit later. So I mean, it's not that we can't accommodate somebody coming in a little bit later, but it's just we can get people to the camp. Okay, so that's not a problem once they get to Battle Creek.
Okay, but that's just that's what you were saying on the Greyhound bus just a while ago. I just checked a while ago.
Okay, all righty. So that's a later arrival.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now
there's only two buses only anyway.
Has Renee asked her question? Renee
what
still has
about the
her hand up.
return, Marion?
Hang on.
Oh,
just
I
a minute.
didn't ask about that one.
Hang on.
It's probably later. I don't know. Sure, I don't know about the return. I had to check that out. I'm sorry. Okay,
Renee,
let's
go
try
ahead.
to get back with you on.
Okay.
Hi,
I'll check it out.
Renee has the floor.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
I joined the
Sorry.
meeting late, so you've probably covered this already, but just since it's been on my mind. I looked through the application Thursday, and what I want to know is how much does it cost? Do I pay ahead of time or do I pay when I get there, or?
So $45, and
Okay.
we would appreciate that you would pay ahead of time. We've asked everybody to pay ahead of time. It's either with a check or a money order. We don't have a we don't have a great way to do electronic payment, but it could happen.
Okay.
We don't
And
have
I
to
mean,
do-
I noticed there was a return envelope in there. How do I send it, or can I send it free matter for the blind?
You could.
So do I go to the post office and have it stamped saying that?
Uh,
Or do I, like, how does
kind of-
that work?
I'm gonna defer that question to others on the call that might know better than me.
This is Rosemary. It would be just as easy to write your check and put it in with your application and send it back in the envelope that's provided.
Is it a pre-stamped envelope,
Well,
Roger?
it just says the address and stuff of where it's sent. Like, I was just,
There's not
how
a
would I
stamp.
put free matter for the blind? Do I just write it in, or do I have it stamped, or?
Just write it in.
You would
Technically, this Carrie Bradley, technically,
I've never done it
you
before.
cannot send it free matter for the blind unless you write something in Braille and put it inside of that envelope. Technically,
Right.
I'm just telling you the law. That is the law.
No.
So technically, and I don't want to get winter camp into no problem. Just get you a piece of Braille paper, write your name and phone number on it, and put it inside that envelope. Put your check and your application in there, right up in the corner, free matter for the blind and physically handicapped, and you're good.
Or you can do large print as well.
Oh, I
Large print
can,
or Braille.
okay. Cause
Yeah.
I don't really know how to write.
But I would just put it in
yet.
the envelope that's given you, and if there's not a stamp on it, put a stamp on it and send it out. You don't need to do it free matter for the blind.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
If it's more than an ounce, it's an 85-cent stamp.
Well, whatever the
Okay.
application is, you should be able to send it back in the envelope with no problem, and check don't weigh much.
Right.
Okay.
The other problem with free matter, sometimes it takes longer to get there.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes it does. But in
Yeah.
the past years, I've always just put a check in with my application, put it, in the envelope that's provided, put a stamp on it, stick it in the mail. They get it, no problem.
Right. It's easier that way.
Yep. You don't have to go
Okay.
through all that rigmarole.
We had investigated mailing stuff out free matter for the blind. And
Okay.
a few years ago, I was able to do that with some of the bigger envelopes I was sending.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we actually started asking, they said, no, you have to, it has to be something like in Braille. And actually, we did have Braille instructions we sent out, and it was actually easier to just put a stamp on it and send it than it was to go through free matter, because there was a time, it was time sensitive. And we were also told that a lot of that stuff goes to the bottom of the pile, and it may take, a couple of weeks to get someplace. So
Oh, okay.
we
Okay.
chose to bite the bullet and just put the postage on it, and we were able to track it and all that sort of stuff. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's fine. I can just put a stamp on it.
Yep, that's just as simple.
I don't put stamps on them because I don't know who's all going to send them back. So if I don't
Okay,
get it
that
back,
makes
I've
sense.
wasted a stamp. So
Right, and stamps are pretty expensive now.
Yeah.
Way back when they used to cost a penny.
yeah. You're not that old, Renee.
Yeah.
That's
All
been a
right,
long
after
time.
Renee's hand, we have Marion's hand. Does Marion still have a
I have,
question?
No, I'm through.
Okay,
Thank
putting
you.
Marion's hand down. How about Don and Judy? Do you still have a question?
Yeah, I hate to be blunt, but you know, if you really, honestly, truly can't afford a stamp, you should think about staying home.
God.
Ridiculous.
Oh, boy.
That's the truth.
I can afford a stamp.
Come
Can't
on.
afford
Stop.
stamp.
Stop.
All right, well,
Excuse me, I had a question. It's Judy.
Sure, Judy.
okay, go ahead, Judy.
Are we supposed to send the proof of our COVID vaccines with our applications?
Oh. Yes, you are.
Yes.
I thought
That was
so.
my question, Judy. Thank you, Judy.
Oh, you're
that was
very
my-
welcome.
And
That was my
I mean, that would mean like making a photocopy, or does that mean just putting the dates on the form? Roger?
Making a photocopy.
Suggest a photocopy.
Okay. Will you
Don't
accept
send the
them
original copy. Make a
electronically?
photocopy.
Yeah, do not
Mhm.
send your original, make a copy and send it.
Right.
Yes.
That's what we do for summer
That's
camp. We have people make a copy.
Where do you make a copy?
Shoot, you can go to Staples or the UPS store or, you know, any
Or
place.
are you in a? If you're in a building, your office should be able to do it.
Sometimes and sometimes not, depends on your
Yeah, I
company.
know. Right.
I mean, personally, I have a computer, so I have my stuff in there and I just print it out, so.
And they would be
Some
acceptable.
libraries have,
A lot of places you can go to the
copy.
drugstore too.
yeah.
Good question.
Okay, was that like Carrie's question? There, Carrie's the last hand up.
Okay, two things. Number one, the problem with the stamp for people who are totally blind and are by themselves, putting it upside down, because the post office will not accept upside down stamps. So be
What?
very careful when you
Since
do that.
That's kind of
No, they will
crazy.
not.
Hold on.
No, they will
What,
not.
Carrie?
Yes,
If you
they
put 'em
will.
upside down.
No, what
Yes,
No,
they
Carrie,
no, no.
hold on,
My,
Hang
Yes,
on.
they will.
okay, I'm not even gonna argue with you.
hold
My
on,
next
hold
point.
on. Hold on, Carrie,
My next
hold,
point-
everybody, hold on. This is Rosemarie. What Carrie is saying is true.
Thank you. My son works for the
had-
post office.
I have accidentally put a stamp on upside down and the item was returned. Now, what I do when I need to put a stamp on a letter, I use Be My Eyes and, you know, they direct me and make sure the stamp is right side up when I put it on. And that's all I have to do.
Oh,
That's kind of
Okay,
ridiculous.
This
The
is
next
Phyllis.
the next thing is, far as copying is concerned, Roger, is there a possible way that any of these applications can be emailed back to you? Because a person can take a picture with their phone and place it inside of an email and email it back to you. Therefore, they won't even have to worry about going out and getting a copy.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We've
I
done
love
that
that
before.
idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got,
And the
we
next-
accept that at summer camp too. People just put it as an attachment to their email because they create a file for it or however they do that. Yep.
Gina
No.
doesn't like to
Good
mail
idea.
any, Gina doesn't like to mail anything or write checks, so we have accepted hers electronically and also figured out a way to do an electronic payment, so.
The electronic
do that.
sounds more complicated to me.
Yeah, to me too.
It's just
Okay, and the next
convenience,
thing-
Roger, just convenience.
Yep, oh, I know.
Okay, and the
I know.
next thing,
No
if
problem.
a person cannot get their, if they cannot get their COVID vaccine paper done, can they bring their phone to camp and show you the picture of their COVID card or bring their card with them to the camp?
That's what I was wanting to know.
I would say no.
I think we need the confirmation of vaccination before you get to
Yep.
camp. So you'll just have to find a neighbor to take a picture with their phone and text it to Roger.
Can you
Okay,
do a
what about
screenshot
the
thing, or-
thing that you get with when you go and take a COVID shot and you have a smartphone? They send you a text that says when you got it and everything. Can
They'll
they
forward
email
the text.
that to Roger?
You can forward
Forward
the
it
text.
to Roger. That's all you have to do is with the text
Yeah.
is forward it.
Yeah,
That or-
I'm just asking questions.
Have a screenshot,
asking
if you have a screenshot of your
Result.
results, you can text those to me or forward them, however. Yeah, that's acceptable.
But it has to come before you come to camp.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for
Roger
asking
is
those
fully
questions.
digital. He's so accommodating. Let's all give a cheer for Roger.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to be.
Yay, Roger.
Thanks to Kathy.
Thank you,
She's
Roger.
been improving my digital access. One thing I did
Thank
want to
you,
mention,
Roger.
well, one thing, and somebody who talked about the return, because I know that Nancy, when she was looking into this with her train travel back to Dowagiac, it was going to be really early on Sunday. And so I'm not sure about the Detroit return, but my guess
Return for Detroit is at 10:56 in the morning. Arrive back in Detroit at 1:25.
okay, so
That's how it
10:56. So that will probably adjust our leaving time for the train
Is
travel.
that only the bus? Is that only the train, not the bus?
That's
Correct,
the
Marion?
train. Okay, I got to find out about the bus, and I had to get back with you.
That's the
Okay,
train.
thank
From what I gathered, I don't think they have but afternoon buses, not in the morning for the buses, though.
Okay.
But I'll check that out, though. Let you know.
Because depending on the weather, we
Mhm.
have to accommodate, we have to leave enough time for them to get back to Battle Creek and then get onto the train. Their train's usually pretty accommodating, but they don't, they don't mind arriving late, but they like to leave on time. So,
Most of the time, the train is late.
yeah.
Yeah, because the
Oh,
last
yeah.
couple of years, the train has been late. Trust me,
That's
going
been my
and coming.
experience.
Well, it's not their fault because they have to accommodate the freight trains that run on the same tracks, and that's what makes them delayed.
Yeah.
Sometimes
That's
it's
true,
their
too.
fault. They made the news a couple weeks ago. It was a fiasco.
Well, that's a whole different story.
That's not
But
good.
but regularly they don't have that. That's usually the case. Why trains are delayed is because they have to accommodate the freights and they
Yeah.
take a long time to get by. So
Yeah, because the last time they were late leaving Detroit 45 minutes to get them into Dearborn. So
that's okay. When Shirley came in to be with me back in July or August, the train was an hour late. So
yeah,
An hour's not
So-
bad. On a relative
Yeah.
scale.
So yeah, there's
yeah,
that.
it's supposed to be in at 10:30 at night, didn't arrive till 11:30 at night. So
On a happy note,
Go ahead, Tyrone.
what's the score of the Michigan game, Roger?
who knows
no
and who
clue.
cares?
I was
I'll go
relying
check.
on you to tell me that.
Art's
My
wife
wife
is
is
watching the
on-
game. He's going to ask her. He's getting up out of his chair to go ask his wife. She's watching it.
Hey, Roger, this is Rosemary. Just wanted to share with the group that I went down to Ann Arbor on this past Monday and did one of the research studies that they're working on. And they're working on a device that you can put your your smartphone into that will help you to navigate kiosks and anything that's touchpad, microwaves, printers, anything that's touchpad.
On the score, Johnson just, as my wife is watching, she said the score is 10-10 at the Michigan game.
That's
Right,
right.
thank you.
But anyway,
Okay,
just wanted to
thank you.
share that.
So does it read does it require a phone to hold it up to the kiosk and then it reads it to you?
Well, you have to have a phone, and at least the way they have it right now, it's a little device that you attach your phone to. And on the bottom of this device, it has little buttons that act like fingers.
Oh.
And it creates a grid pattern, so it tells you what the target is on the grid. Like it could be 1.1, which would be your top left-hand corner. And when
Oh,
it
wow.
gets close to where it is, it'll poke it for you.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, I've
And
heard
on your
about that.
phone, it'll tell you what it was like. So one of the things we did is like we went to Panera Bread and we chose one of everything.
Okay.
And then we went on and used this on the the kiosks that they set up and with the grid pattern, and we were able to find all of the items that we had ordered. And then when it was done, it said checkout, and then we were able to poke the checkout, and then it was done.
Wow.
So it was an interesting experiment. Of course, it's not, it's not perfected yet. It's in its early stages, but
Yeah.
it was an interesting study to participate in.
Rosemary, I want to say something to Rosemary. If I had known you were in Ann Arbor, I would have called you up and bought you dinner. I live not too far from it.
Well, we didn't have time for that, unfortunately, Tyrone, because we had a 10 o'clock appointment. We were done at noon, but by the time we got back here to Muskegon, it was already 4 o'clock.
Right.
It's about a 4-hour
All
drive
right.
from there to here.
Next time we'll do it then.
Okay.
We stopped at the Burger King on the way back home.
Yep.
I figured you would eat that Panera bread with all that stuff you ordered. I figured you would.
No, we didn't do that because it was all fake. It was not real. It was just for the experiment.
They
that's
should have
all.
camped you lunch.
Right.
Well, they did reimburse us for our gas, and they gave me a $50 Amazon card. So.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, if you guys are, I know David has participated in some of those studies.
Yeah, the one with Jim Whalen, they gave me $100, Visa card, gift card for participating in that.
Dr. Whalen hasn't been doing studies though lately. I haven't done one of his since February.
Yeah, so they're fun to do. I enjoy doing them, and I'm happy that Lion Jack is able to bring me to take care of those things and do that. So
some of you guys in the Detroit area, you ought to think about doing that.
As a club, hey, you know what? The Clear Lake Virtual Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to get a group of you together and drive to Ann Arbor though, and go to the University of Michigan.
Right.
The university bought my gas. Normally, Rosemary puts in a tank of gas.
So I had one more thing that I wanted to touch on briefly, and that is the Keno card project that was discussed at our last winter camp chat. We had some people kind of looking into this to see what even a Keno card was, and and how this might actually happen and be maybe a project that we would work on there. I know that Art has a Braille labeler that looks like one of the old labelers that you squeeze, looks like a trigger, like
I have one of those too.
That makes a label, but it's in Braille. So we're kind of I guess still kind of not real clear on what we need to get for that and how we would do that. So, and I know Carrie, that was kind of a thing Carrie was talking about, but a few others of you were as well.
And in that respect, I bought more tape, so I have an adequate supply of tape for the labeler.
All right.
Oh,
this is Carrie Bradley.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Carrie.
Okay. This is Carrie Bradley. Our Clear Lake Lions Club was thinking about trying to do that as a project up there. The only thing I don't like about using the tape is, what if we need to put bonus Braille on the cards for some people who have trouble reading regular Braille. So do your labeler do the bonus dot Braille, or is it just standard Braille?
Just standard. They don't do jumbo Braille.
It's just
okay. So
it's a half
my next
tape.
thing.
And I don't see any bonus characters.
Yeah, bonus is just like jumbo Braille. Same thing. They don't do it. I don't. And
right. My next thing is, does anyone have any access to a jumbo dot Brailler? I know there is one. And while he's doing the tape, because we could make this a project. While he's doing the tape, I could do a couple of the jumbo Braille ones, or I'm not sure if I know those Keno cards. I tried them. They will not fit inside of a Braille writer. They're too thick. The ones I had they were too thick.
Yeah, you can't do it that
way. There's someone on the phone now. If she's still on here, Wanda Anderson. She plays Keno a lot. How thick are those boards?
Wanda's on.
Wanda's on, but she's muted. Wanda, do you know how to unmute
Unmute
yourself?
yourself. *6.
Or if you're on the computer, it's Alt A.
I think she's on.
Now,
She's
Art,
not on the computer. She's
Art,
on the
didn't
she's
you
on the
say
regular phone.
Hey, Art, when we were talking about it before, which order of operations was it? It was like put on the laminate and then put on the Braille?
Well, the tape is just creates Braille on the tape.
Yep.
And it'll go
Right.
over top.
And it would
It's
go
like,
on top of the laminated cards, right?
Right, yeah.
You just stick it on it, yeah.
Just stick it
You
on.
wouldn't even need you wouldn't need the laminated cards if you're gonna use the tape, because the tape is like a laminated clear.
Right,
it's like a clear piece of plastic, and he could just do it, and then you would put it on the selected card.
Right, but depending on the material of the cards, we may wish to laminate them, but we just want to make sure that the Braille is on top so that it's you
And the
can feel it.
the tape is not clear. Definitely not clear. It's opaque.
It's black.
Okay.
It's black or brown or green. You can get colors, but it's not clear.
So then my next
thought they
question,
had the
Karen,
clear
hold on a
tape.
second. I'm trying to ask some questions here. Hold on a second. So then there was a comment about the thickness of the cards, but the way your Brailler works, we don't care how thick the cards are because we're applying it to the top, right?
Check.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
What I was saying is the thickness of the card. If you have a jumbo Brailler, I was trying to see how thick the actual, because regular cards, you can put them in a Braille writer and you can Braille them.
But we're not using a Braille writer. So that's the thickness of the card doesn't matter. We're not using a Braille writer. We're using the Brailler, the little machine.
Well, you could use either.
I was saying
Excuse me,
for the jumbo Braille, the jumbo Braille.
Right, but first we have to find someone who has one.
But if
This is
if
Gina.
the
I have a
card is too
question.
thick, it won't go in anyway. If the card is too thick, it won't go
Unless
in the Braille
someone
writer
has
anyway.
a jumbo Brailler that is a handheld like Art's.
Okay, so Gina has a question.
Yeah, I don't know what to do when I'm on my cell phone, but my question was, if we do this project, is it possible to have the numbers pre-printed out? Because I was concerned, I guess everybody, when this came about in the Lions Club meeting, was time. Just wondering, you know, how many cards, how long would it take to do just one card? And could they be could the numbers already be, you know, embossed in the bag or whatnot?
Art, how long does it take to do, I don't know, 30 numbers or something?
It just takes
25 numbers.
a few seconds here. Of course, you want to have space between them and then cut them off so you can put them on each box.
Yeah.
So if you were generating them and then somebody next in line was the scissor person and then somebody next in line was the sticker person.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the machine cuts them off when you push
You
the
can
button.
squeeze it,
cut 'em off.
the machine will cut
okay.
'em.
Yeah.
But
And,
one of the things is if you guys can find a jumbo Braille slate, you could slide the tape through that and make jumbo Braille that way.
How many people
Carrie,
need
I don't
jumbo
think that
Braille
it'll
versus
fit on
regular?
there.
No,
I
no,
don't think the
jumbo Braille slate. You would just thread the tape
I
through
have
the
one,
slate like
Rosemary.
you do a regular slate. And then
I have one.
use the jumbo Braille.
Okay,
That
but
would
what
work.
I'm saying is the tape, the size of the tape, I believe is too small for the jumbo Braille slate.
What
No,
you
it's
can
not.
get,
I
you can
use
get
it all the
wider
time.
tape. You can get
I
bigger
use it all the
tape.
time.
Okay, so
Okay.
Phyllis has one, sounds like.
Yeah, and
I
she
have
knows how
one.
to use it, so cool. Yep.
Wait,
that
who
would-
has
that would
one?
work.
Okay.
This
Who
is
has one?
Phyllis. I have one. And it works
I
fine.
doesn't help me. Who has one?
Phyllis.
This is Phyllis.
Thank you.
I have one and it works fine with the tape.
And you could bring one to camp?
Yes, I can.
What would you need? What supplies would you need provided?
I can bring the tape and the slate.
Okay. And in that respect, my tape is 1/2 inch wide.
I think that's what mine is too. but I'm not really sure right offhand.
Can
So then we
somebody
need to
explain to me
figure
what
out what length of tape does it use to make a number?
I have a slate that is like 8.5 by 11.
We're not discussing the size of the slate. We're discussing the size of the cells that's on the slate. Jumbo
because-
Braille has a larger cell.
Yeah, they do. And you
Yes,
need at least,
a larger cell.
and you need at
So
least two.
I'm estimating. I'm sorry.
So you need at least two cells per number because and because if you do like 10, you could use the X instead of the number 10. So you don't have to do, AJ, that kind of thing if you don't want to.
So how many inches of tape does it take to do a number? So for every one of the
Probably
25
like,
squares,
I would say not even a half an inch, probably.
so
Well,
25
I would
squares.
say use an inch. I would say use an inch just so you would have a little bit of space before the Braille and a little bit of space after the Braille, just to be safe.
Yep, an
So
inch would be
25
fine.
squares times 1 inch each, or 1 inch. So we have at least 25 inches of tape per board.
I would say
Correct.
30 inches of tape per board, just to give yourself extra.
Right.
You don't need that much extra, I don't think.
That's
Well,
okay
because you
if
have to
you're
put
buying.
spaces in between to cut them, so.
Plus there's mistakes. There's always a mistake.
Right.
Okay, so, and then we would need an approximate number of people interested in Keno boards. So when we've signed people up in the past, we've said, are you interested in doing the craft project? And that gave us a base number, and then we just kind of like doubled it for extra supplies. Do we think
Right.
everyone's gonna want to do this? Or does Roger have that on the form?
I don't have it on the form, no.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Well, I'm guessing if we have, let's say we have 50 people going to winter camp, I would say about 15 would be interested in doing it.
All right, so we'll
15
say
is
20
gonna go to
people.
play bingo, and then the other 20 people probably are gonna be out there with the canes and the other activities, because it'd be like, what is it, 4 rooms with things going on,
Yeah.
Roger?
Well,
Yeah, so-
yeah,
And
Yeah.
some
Anyway.
people might want a second board. More than one board.
True.
So
I'm
15
saying people could do more than one board as the craft project. Say, for instance, I could do like 4 or 5, and somebody else could do 3. So we're trying to get
Well, I guess-
at least 30,
How many
30 to
boards do you
35
think
boards.
the average Keno player needs or wants?
One.
You only need
One.
one?
Yes,
Forever
one.
and
Just
ever?
like bingo, only one. Some people like to use 2, but it's just like bingo. It's just like
All right.
bingo.
Somebody
except for it's
sleeping
hard.
too.
So if we say 15 people, and then we'll say we'll probably do 30 boards, then we can start looking at the supplies and the, for ordering the cards. Do you have a board you prefer? Can you send a link to it?
I have never done this before. I've never even played Keno before, except when I was a little child. But a lot of people have asked me, "Hey, do you do Keno? Do you do Keno?" That's why I'm suggesting it.
Yep.
Whoever's sleeping, get your nose off the
Ronnie.
phone. We can hear
I
you
think it's Ronnie.
snoring.
It's Ronnie.
Yeah, you
Snow.
can hear them snoring. Hello?
Yeah, everybody was snoring.
Okay, so Carrie is not the person I'm asking here then, because she's never played. How many boards, how many people on here have played Keno or who want to learn Keno?
I play Keno. This is Marion Ward.
Mute his
Okay.
phone. Mute his phone. Mute Ronnie's phone.
I
We
did.
can hear him
Hey,
snoring.
Carrie, just take a step back, please. Just take a step back. We're trying to work here as a community, and with you answering every question, I can't ask questions of other people.
That wasn't me.
There-
That wasn't me.
Yes, that was you just now telling me to mute Ronnie. Marion was talking. Marion was
I'm good.
talking.
Okay, I was talking. I do play Keno. Yes, I do.
Thank you. And how many boards
Okay.
do you usually use?
I only use one, but you can use as many as you can handle.
Okay. That's
'Cause I know
good.
a girl that I play with right now. She uses 5 boards.
Woo! And now, do you have a favorite board? Like, did
No, you can
order in
choose
line?
any kind of board you want to use. But what I was gonna say is, a lady, they had large print boards, and she made me 2 copies of each board, and I cut it in half. And I thought about this. Is what I thought about doing: taking the copies that she gave me. I got a braille writer to write them in braille and put it on a heavy card. I think LS&S have some what they call an adhesive braille paper that is brailleable that you can attach it to.
Oh, and if you don't get it done before camp, you can bring it to camp. We can do it then. Okay,
Yeah,
so a large.
I got to find out how much the paper is first.
So you recommend starting with a large print board. Okay.
Yeah, I got them already done. Okay, but I'm just saying I got to see how much the adhesive brailleable paper is from LS&S, and you can put it on there and braille it then.
What's LS&N?
Learning Sights and Sound.
Okay.
It's a catalog for the blind.
Okay.
But I forgot how much it is. I have to look and see how much it is per sheet. Because from what I gather, they sell it by the sheet.
Okay.
We can buy that. The camp can buy that. you know.
Right. So brailleable sheets versus tape. Is that kind of what I'm
Right.
hearing?
They call it adhesive paper.
Yeah. I've got a question here. Is our goal to have a project for camp or wind up with Braille Kino boards?
Yes.
Which one? If the Michigan Braille Transcribing, they might be able to make the Kino sheets or boards.
I want our craft to be practical this year
Okay.
instead of
So I'm
just
talking about a
wind
practical
chime and
craft
something.
at camp. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. That's what I wondered.
Because otherwise it's just some flimsy little throwaway thing and
Check. Okay.
Well, I'll look into that and see.
We will look into all that.
You
Sounds
wanna
good, you guys.
let me know? Or I don't know who wants to. Kathy, do you want to kind of handle, procuring this stuff?
yeah, I can do some research and then I can we can get back together with Carrie and Marion and compare Art and compare notes, have a little committee here of Carrie, Marion, Art, and us. Does anybody else want to be on the committee?
Okay.
The craft committee? Nobody
We
wants
can
to be on
see.
the craft committee?
I'll
Okay.
yeah, of course I will.
Great. Okay, well, that's good. That's a good discussion. I think we have more clarification on what we're trying to do here with this. So appreciate both Carrie and Marion for their input on this particular project, and Rosemary and
Roger.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I just checked with the Greyhound. What it is, they got a bus going at between like 3, and it takes about 2.5. One takes 3.5. Okay, coming back from Battle Creek, there's a bus leaving, and that's the best bet. 11:40 in the morning from Battle Creek coming back into Detroit. And it's $30 each way. And if you take that second bus, it's $37 each way. And that leaves at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Leaving Battle Creek, coming back into Detroit.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So what it is, going is I'll say about 3:30 or something like that. And it takes like 2.5 hours. The 404 bus takes 3 hours, so it won't get you there to 7 something in the evening, and that's $37. The one for 4:00. Okay, coming back, the one is at 11:40 a.m. and that's $30. And then the one at 2:00, that's 3 hours. So that's leaving from Kalamazoo, from Battle Creek into Detroit. So that's your schedule.
Okay, great. Well,
Thank you, Marion.
Thank you very
So
much.
so what it is $30 each way, $37 each way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that's what Bonnie had said. It was $60.
Yeah, $60 and $64 if you want to take the second.
Yeah.
You know. Okay.
I don't know why you'd want to spend more money to take more time, but
Yeah, I won't.
doesn't make a lot of sense.
So me personally, I think the train is the best bet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. So.
All right, gang.
Are we good for today? This has been a good conversation. Really appreciate everybody's input and questions. Call me if you have a question about camp. Try to answer it. If you know other people that want to come, let me know or give them an application. But it's a good idea if you give me a heads up.
Okay.
That you gave an application to somebody and that they're interested in coming, and then I could be watching for it. So.
Okay, but did you still want me to, this is Marion Ward, issue the 4 applications I do have? Because we're going to be supposed to be meeting at a Boy Scout dinner in December, the 2nd of December.
Just let me know who you give them to, if they don't already have.
Okay, all right. Okay, Tyrone, you hear that?
I hear that.
Okay.
He's got one. He's got one.
No, he's got one, but he knows I carry.
Okay. All right.
Application. So
he's your reminder.
You announce it. Right. Exactly.
Right.
Okay. And I want to thank Roger. Thank you, buddy, for letting me be on your phone today, buddy. I'll send you some money for the phone bill. Okay?
Don't worry about that.
And just as a side note, I just got word that the football game, Illinois is ahead 17-13.
Ooh.
Is that Michigan State?
That's University of Michigan.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah.
My daughter-in-law is going to be sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you, guys.
Well, thank you,
I'll
everybody.
see you later.
Okay.
Appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy
Yeah, have a good Thanksgiving.
Happy
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy
right,
Thanksgiving,
bye-bye.
everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Roger,
Yes.
are you still there?
I'm here.
Will you be sending because I think you have previously sending a recording of the discussion so I can hear the part I missed?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I'll have that posted shortly. It takes about an hour.
Okay.
Although
Cool.
it may come to my email though, if it's on the cloud. And
Oh,
actually,
that's true. On the
actually-
cloud, it's almost instant. I forgot about that.
And also I can send a link directly from that cloud recording. It actually gives you a link, so it's a little easier than putting it on YouTube, I think. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Okay.
get it to you, Renee.
Okay. Because that'll be better than me directly asking you questions that have already been answered in the discussion.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
sounds good. Well,
Yeah.
Art, thanks